Kastoria, a beautiful town in the western Macedonia region of northern Greece, nestled in between limestone mountains and along the shores of Lake Orestiada, which I'm walking along right now. Kastoria's local economy basically thrives on tourism and furs. One thing that you'll notice when you enter Kastoria is there's a lot of fur shops, more than you'll notice anywhere else, especially in Greece. But it kind of makes sense because it does get cold here in the wintertime. This is one of the coldest towns in Greece. They're saying it might even snow a little bit tonight, so who knows, maybe we'll get a little bit of snow to make it look a little more Christmassy up here in this beautiful lakeside mountain town in northern Greece. So let's go ahead and walk around and check it out.
Good, Mike.
So since Kastoria is perched on a hillside along the lake, well, there's a lot of really steep streets like this. It's kind of amazing that cars can even drive on these streets. But of course, like in a lot of parts of Greece that are very steep, you know, you just learn to live with it. Of course, like in a lot of old towns in Greece, you have some old neoclassical houses like this that are very beautiful and very well preserved. And then you have ones like this. This one even has the year on it. It says 1926, you know, which unfortunately has fallen into disrepair. Whoever used to own it has probably passed on. Nobody has taken it over. If you go up the hill from the lake a little bit here in the old town of Kastoria, it is a really nice place to just kind of walk around. You could definitely tell that you're up in the northern part of northern Greece, up in the mountains, because of course there is a style that you don't see so much in the more Mediterranean parts of Greece. This is the Old Town restaurant here on the lake shore in Kastoria, rated very highly for restaurants in Kastoria, so let's see what they have to offer. And the first thing, of course, a nice glass of red wine. Thank you.
Yes.
It's really interesting how the way that they made it look in here, and there's even what appears to be some old artifacts sort of in some of the walls of this place. This is a local meat dish, pork, which is cooked with cheese and red pepper, and it's wrapped in a paper. This is actually not skin, this is paper, so you don't eat the paper. I was actually even warned by the waitress not to eat the paper because it's happened, I guess, you know, since it looks like it could be edible, and you have to cut your way into it, but it's wrapped in a paper and cooked in the oven. A local dish from this region of Greece, from Kastoria in Western Macedonia. Sure sounds good, let's go ahead and dig in. Not bad, definitely an interesting mix of flavors. I don't think I've had anything quite like this. The cheese and the bacon and the peppers that are wrapped up inside the meat, which is wrapped up inside a paper and then cooked in the oven, I guess kind of makes this really, you know, this really kind of special flavor. I'm usually not a big peppers fan, but mixed in with all of this and cooked in this way, actually, it's not bad at all. Good morning, everyone. This is our last day here in Kastoria, but before we get going with exploring this little town up in the mountains of Western Macedonia, let's get something to eat first. I have been coming here for breakfast since I've been here in Kastoria, so I recommend. Now, I don't always show every place that I stay at on my travels because I don't always think it's interesting, but this place I have to show. I found it on Airbnb. Probably the best Airbnb experience I've had so far. I mean, check this apartment out. I mean, of course, you get greeted by big Christmas decoration because, of course, you know, at the time of filming this, it is close to Christmas time. So let's go ahead and open up. So you walk in, and I mean, it's got like an old style, but at the same time, everything is freshly renovated, but its style is kind of a little old school, which is kind of nice. Got the hall, and then here is the dining room with the table, which I've been using as my workspace. There is an enclosed balcony here, which, I mean, the windows are a little fogged up here right now, but the balcony in the bedroom is open. And then here you have a living room, which, of course, they were nice enough to put a Christmas tree in, and you know, some other little Christmas decorations here, so you definitely feel like you are in the in the holiday spirit. And then here, of course, you know, I have a little kitchen area here with every, you know, any basic amenities that you need. I mean, with me, I have my water boiler and coffee that was provided here, so I didn't have to go seek that out myself. And then, you know, and then your heater here, your thermostat, you know, bathroom, nice freshly renovated bathroom. And then the bedroom here, this bed was so comfortable, and of course with some extra blankets to keep you warm on these cold Kastorian winter nights. This bed was so comfortable, I actually just did not want to get out of it, and so I'm actually starting my day a little later than I wanted to today because this bed was just so freaking comfortable. I didn't want to get out of it. And then here is the balcony with the view from the bedroom, and I mean, let me tell you, this was actually what this was what really attracted me to this particular Airbnb listing, was the views like this. I mean, this is just, you know, even if I wasn't making travel videos where having nice views of where you're traveling to is obviously a big bonus, I would want to come here anyway just to enjoy this view to myself. Very, very nice. And of course, now that the weather is clearing out a little more today, you could see a little bit further along, and it's really, really nice. And of course, the host here, very, very nice person who will, you know, immediately will make you feel very welcome, and who lives right next door in case you need anything. I'll leave a link below so that if you are traveling to Kastoria and you're looking for a place to live, so long as they're still renting out this apartment, I would definitely recommend this apartment right here. Full disclosure, I am not sponsored by Airbnb or anything like that. At the time of filming this, my channel's not big enough for sponsorship offers anyway, but just out of my own free will, I just really want to mention how awesome this particular Airbnb listing was. Up here on the top of this little mountain that kind of protrudes into Lake Orestiada, you can get a nice view of the town of Kastoria, both coasts of it, and even some of the towns in the mountains around Kastoria. Of course, if you come up here in the winter, it will be even colder up here. Naturally, we are about another 250 meters in elevation higher up than the town, and it's actually snowing a little bit right now. Actually, a few snowflakes blowing in. And on the drive up here, the temperature dropped about 3 degrees Celsius. But there actually is a little restaurant that's right here behind me. It is closed in the wintertime. If you come here in the wintertime like I did, it's closed. But if you come up here during the warmer months, it's open and you can enjoy the really nice view. Let's head back down into town and walk around a little bit before we leave. The actual town of Kastoria is like on a neck before a little hill or like a small mountain that kind of protrudes into the lake. So here, this is actually still the same lake, even though it's an opposite coast. To the side of me here, this is what they would call the north coast, because the coastline of the lake is facing north here, whereas the other side, where I was yesterday and where my Airbnb looks off at, is the south coast. Kastoria is at about 650 meters in elevation, so I think that's like between 2,000 and 2,500 feet. So it is a little bit high, but not crazy high. You're not, you know, not like altitude sickness high, but you know, it's high enough that between that and the fact that we're further north, it could easily snow in the town too, and plenty of times it does snow. I was told that as you go deeper into winter, when you start getting from Christmas and beyond, like, you know, January, February, that every winter, at least a little bit, they do get snow here in the town, and it could go quite far below 0 in Celsius, you know, quite far below freezing mark here in the town itself. I mean, we're already only like 2 or 3 degrees above that right now. Let's walk back around to the other side. We're basically going to walk through the center of the main part of the main town of Kastoria, and it's not too long to go from one coast to the other if you go through the center of town. It's a little easier at this point because other points you have more of a hill to climb, whereas here, since I guess this is, you could say, the narrowest point in the neck here, and also there's bigger roads because it's the main side of the town, which we're going to look to make sure we don't get run over. Bigger roads because it's the main side of the town, so a little bit easier to cross here to go back over to the other coast. And there we go. We've just kind of come out to the other side, about a 5-minute walk, and we're over here by the other coast now. Looks like they're setting up a little Christmas village here. There are a couple of museums that you can check out here in Kastoria. The day I'm filming this is on a Monday, and a lot of them are closed, unfortunately, on Monday. You have a Byzantine museum, you have a folklore museum, you have the Museum of the Macedonian Struggle. So those are a couple of the museums that you could check out if you're visiting Kastoria. You could pretty much see all of those plus everything else there's to see and walk around this. I mean, I'm walking around this whole town. It's you know, it's a small enough city that you really can just walk, especially if you don't mind the hills, to go between the coasts of the lake here. They also have along the lake shore, especially along the south shore here, there's a very well-developed walking path. So that's pretty much it here in Kastoria, a nice picturesque town that you should visit if you're exploring northern Greece. But for now, we're going to head off and go to the next town, but make sure you have subscribed to Global Niko if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned and see where I'm going to next. Until then, take care and travel better.